Talk to me a little bit about your kind of uh, lyric writing and songwriting process. I just want to like an interesting observation I was thinking of before is like Cam said something about we write our music first a lot of the time, and we write it comes from a
Mhm.
riff, it comes from the instrumental most of the time solid first before like we've even really thought about lyrics. And
Mm.
like that's comes from all three of us. Like now, when I'm doing stuff outside, like if I'm writing a bit more poppy stuff, usually it will start with vocals and a piano or vocals and a guitar or something that just is like basic chords and a melody. So
Mhm.
then the instrumental gets built around that. I'm just curious as to whether you're thinking, okay, I've got a song that kind of works acoustically or works with some basic chords, and then the rest of the guys will fill it out around that, or are you just writing on top of instrumentals all the time?
It used to be the case where I would come up with a lot of like acoustic melodies because I just spend my life wrapped around an acoustic
Yeah.
guitar while I'm working, while I'm doing whatever. So that's how a lot of the concepts, a lot of the songs, a lot of the emotional feeling came out of it. But recently, Revoid, we're kind of blessed in that we can start a song with anything. So, like, whether it's me writing a single line as I'm going about my day, just thinking of a song concept or a visual concept, or even like a full song, I'll come up with lyrics and I'll just be like, here's what I've got. Let's write some music to it. Or Jack will bless us with a fully complete song, production and all. And I'll be like, you're mad, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And we'll just, yeah, nice and easy, phone it in, get the lyrics done, make it make sense, and it's wonderful. Sometimes it's not as easy, but yeah, the way the I guess the dispersal of talent in our band is really good for how we can just bounce off each other. So like a lot of the time lately, with the focus on our live shows and what we want to present to an audience. That's our focus. So every time we're like, hey, I want to write a song that makes people do this when we're playing a show or fits into the set like this. And we'll just sort of build a song like that, pull some references about songs that we think are in the realm and be like, yep, cool. This makes me feel like this. This is why it does that. And then sort of build it. It gets a bit mechanical sometimes, but honestly, even if you can just get a mechanical idea out there, then you can start smashing it, taking it apart, putting it back together, like Frankensteining it. But at least there's something that you're a bit more happy with, or you've got more option to it. So
Yeah,
yeah.
because you can definitely like say for example, in the dance music world, we just have like a thing where you can either write for like the club or for the festival, or you
Mm.
can write for the like for the
Yeah.
radio. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
it's similar in this genre as well because it's kind of a harder genre. You can think about something that will work really well live and generate a lot of anticipation and all of this, but not
Mhm.
necessarily in like this the radio world will that work. So usually the lyrics
Exactly.
might come
Exactly.
after the instrumental in the more entertaining of cases. Um, one thing also that I like that I wanted to see if you work with as well is like a technique with writing lyrics, and it's like I'll put this to you, Cam, as well, because I haven't spoken about this probably yet, but when I'm trying to come up with like melodies or lyric ideas and things like this, a lot of the time I'll play the instrumental either, front to back or looping a section, and I'll kind of like scat out or hum out, sing out some random gibberish words that kind of what I think will fit. I'm kind of improvising over the top. And then might take that layer and there might be like, one or two bits of gold where I kind of just did something that sounds really good in that section. And then they could be my like placeholders. And there might be a couple of those over the whole track. And then I'm sort of trying to piece together what the story might be between those elements because certain things really just work really well, even if it's not said in the right
Mm.
lyrics or it's just the way you did it that came out that way that kind of works really well in that spot. So I just want to see if you relate to that and whether there's any sort of
Oh, 100%.
method to your
That's
songwriting with that.
yeah, no, that's crazy. That's yeah, pretty much the same process we go through. Like it's again with such variance involved, it's hard to be consistent about it. But yeah, yeah, that's kind of exactly the process we go through. So if there's something like choruses, particularly that are very melody centric, I'll just sit there. I'll just sit there with it on repeat, and I'll be like, all right, what do I want to do in this? How do I want to convey it? What's the energy live? And then just figure out a melody because melodies are the bane of my existence. I can write lyrics, I can write rhythm, but as far as like a melody, like a hook, a catchy thing that's going to get stuck in your brain, that's something I've had to really grind on, really work on to get myself to a standard where I can just pump out something and be like, okay, this is a good idea, instead of just like, this isn't, this is an idea. Please help everybody,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so it's yeah, exactly. Like that's the process we go through, and I just sort of get a bit mechanical with it and sort of thumb it out as we go along. I'm like, cool, I like these notes, but I don't like this rhythm, this intonation to it. So let's fix that. Let's go back and work on that. And it's really given us a lot to work with and a lot to enhance our songs going forward. So I think with all the works like from Bad Party and Revoid alike, it's gonna reflect that I'm a lot more confident with my ability and what I'm actually doing in making choices. So
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully everyone else feels the same and likes
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, bro. Yeah, because it's like, it's a lot of pressure to sit down and kind of write the next big hit and like come up with all of these like really hooky things. And like, I kind of more see it in terms of like you're just putting yourself in that opportunity to have something from the, creation gods come through you at the right time. You just need to be there, receptive to it and ready. And then when the song comes through you and it writes itself, then you're ready and it's out there on paper. So it's kind of like,
exactly. Whether it's 3 in the morning and I'm just rolling over to my notes half blind, just like
yeah,
penciling something in violently, or I'm on a plane. I have this thing where every time I'm on a plane, either to or from a destination, I just write a whole song.
wow,
I don't know
awesome.
why. It just happens. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
like, this is I just need to take flights more. It'll work
inspired.
itself out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's that discipline of sitting down and just keep writing and having stuff come
Mm,
out. It eventually organically turns into something. The song comes out how it wants to come out, and
yeah.
we're having that experience right now. Is like we had a song that kind of we thought was a dead end, and like it's come out as something else once it's just gone through a few different iterations in life, and that's really cool to see them become something or whatever it is.
It was nearly
Yeah.
scrapped. Like it was nearly scrapped because I it was just really repetitive and um it kind of just needed that emotion, I think. And I used the emotion of frustration
Mhm.
of not being able to finish it to actually finish it.
That's
Funny
awesome.
enough. I like the
Yeah, no,
comment.
100% agree. That's a lot of the bad party stuff at the moment too. So like with their ADHD brains, are just swimming in songs, and I come in, I'm like trying to breathe new life into these things and bring my conviction about how good a song can be. And I'm like, hey, what if you did it like this? And they're like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah, and it kind of
yes, let's do
resparks
that.
it. Yeah.
Big neuron activation. Yeah, yeah.
I like the idea of, what Jordan said, songs kind of writing themselves because I feel like the
Mm,
way that I write is I just let the song write itself. I let the
yep.
emotion that's within me in that moment, whether I've just got home from gym, I got dopamines going, I'm pumped, I feel really good, cool. I'm gonna write like a sick riff and heavy, just like in your face, or I might be angry, I might be annoyed, tired from work, sleepy, whatever it may be, and then I'll usually write the instrumental first, because I'll write a placeholder for drums because I know that Jordan does the drums, so I just write any kind of just
Yep. Yep.
basic MIDI drum beat that I can follow along. um, Let the emotion take place instrumentally, and then that way I can connect lyrically to the instrumental because the instrumental, the chords, the scales, the counter melodies, the way that the instrumentals, it's almost like the music is telling me what to say. It's like, hey, here's this sonic
Yes.
audio. Now, how do you feel
Yeah.
about it? And then the lyrics will just come out.
Don't you
And
love it when it works out? It's
oh,
so amazing.
it's
It's the
so
best
good.
Yeah.
feeling.
And it just writes
Yeah.
itself. And it's like, oh, how'd you write this? I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't feel like I wrote anything. I feel like it just came out. Like
Yeah.
I'm not thinking this is a
I
C
sat down for
minor.
half an hour and it just fell out of me.
Literally, that's why you find that people that overstudy music and
Mm.
overcomplicate things and think of the scales and how the relationship of this and that, and you're like, they write very like it sounds like AI generated music sometime, and you're
Yeah.
like, it's correct and it's all, it sounds like music, but it doesn't
Mm.
elicit a response, an emotional response. And then you have these other bands that write really basic stuff, but you feel an emotion when you listen to it, and I feel like that's very
Yeah,
important.
and that's the stuff that stays in your head. It's like I feel bad sometimes because I can't contribute as technically as I would like to, but then I also like being just a little bit dumb in some areas because it keeps me on
Simplicity
a
pays
level where
off.
I can like Exactly. And I'm like, if I can keep it simple, I can keep it fun. I can stop obsessing over like, oh, this riff needs to be better. This we need more 16th notes in there. We need more Mixolydian scales. I'm like, no. I don't even know what key this song is. Let's just make it slap. All right, let's do this.